We've seen that sentences have a great deal of faith and trust in our probation services. If there's and that reflects on the levels of custody, quite regularly, especially with magistrates. How are we going to ensure that confidence is retained if private sector organisations are starting to take over these functions? How do we retain that confidence?
Well, I don't think it'll disappear. I mean, we're already, if you look at community payback in London, we're already delivering community payback through the private sector. But if you take the issue of community payback, I mean, I actually want to see some smarter mentoring of people who get community sentences. And the plans do provide for some element of that, perhaps not to the same intensity as people who've been in prison. But actually at the moment, although there is quite a good record for reoffending rates for community sentences, if you look at those who are coming through into prisons, most of them have been through community penalties on more than one occasion already. So I mean, I think the issue with sentences is, am I confident if I'm sentencing somebody to 120 hours community work that there is a decent project for them to go and do? And absolutely, if we're contracting as we are in London, we expect there to be a proper project, appropriately supervised, to deliver that punishment. And from what I've seen so far, and I've visited one of the projects, I mean, I think that's working pretty well, and it's doing so at a lower cost. And that saving is one of the ways in which I can get the under 12-month people into the system. And I think it's important this is a really important point. I think the failure of our system to provide supervision to people who get short sentences in prison when they leave is inexplicable and must change. I want to change that, and I want to change it quickly. I'm also operating in a time when budgets are immensely tight. The only way I can change that quickly is by changing the paradigm. And actually part of the purpose of the reform is to actually create a system that is more efficient, more frontline focused, but actually has released enough resource for that greater efficiency to bring those people into the net. It's really important that we do that. So they are at the highest propensity to reoffend. It is inexplicable that we don't support them at the moment.
You might also want to achieve a transfer of money by avoiding short sentences, which could be avoided if there was confidence that the community sentence and its punitive element and its rehabilitative elements were what would actually make a difference.
Well, I mean, I think that's a very fair point, and one of the things that I'm very clearly intending that we should add a mentoring element, or we should seek a mentoring element for the delivery of community sentences, so that we try and actually prevent some of the people who are going off the rails from carrying on doing so and ending up in our prisons. We haven't, in modelling this, assumed that there is some great saving that will pay for it. So this is not budgeted on the basis that, well, we'll need 10,000 fewer prison places and therefore that will pay the bill. What I'm doing is trying to effectively work the budgets that we've got at the moment. This is a classic case of more for less. But I hope and believe that as we do this, as we bring the extra element of mentoring in, as we bring the under 12-month people into the system, and as we actually provide more of a focus to try and rehabilitate people going through the community, so it's not simply just do your 120 hours and on you go, is that we will start to see additional savings and additional reduced pressures on the system in the second half of the decade. I don't think we'll be responsible to try and budget for that now, but it's definitely an intention and a goal.
Mr. Dubois had a point, I think.
Thank you.